Hi, everybody. Welcome to another day. And I hope that your day is absolutely beautiful. A quick visual descriptor before we get moving too far. I have long brown hair, glasses, a gray shirt, a silver bracelet, coffee mug in hand. Behind me, we have some beautiful trees, stone wall, soft light coming through some of the branches, but also some really wonderful oversaturated light on, I guess it would be maybe my left side, depending. I'm going to say on the left side of the screen. Some very wonderful oversaturated light on the left side of the screen. We are here in the gazebo in the public park space near the river. There are birds chirping. There's water flowing. It's absolutely wonderful. Get your coffee, tea, whatever it may be, whatever gets your day going. I have my coffee in hand. That's good, right? It's my cup of comfort. It's just a general necessity for my day. For my day. But whatever you need for your day, go get it. That's really good. I'm joining you right now on Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube via Restream. Just so wonderful to be able to do that. I enjoy that I can do that with all of you. There's peace right now for me, this feeling. It's always enjoyable to be outdoors. It's something I truly love. But let's go to our topic of the day. Do you love yourself? I know. I just threw it right out there. It's a curveball. Are you making yourself a priority? How do you value yourself? Do you measure your worth against who you are, or are you measuring yourself against others? That last part there can actually be a really big rub for a lot of us. Measuring ourselves against others. We can put ourselves in these positions where we're not making ourselves the priority or the standard for how we are. We're making other people the standard for how we should be. And most certainly you should avoid that at all costs. But what about your priorities? What comes first in your priorities list? I'm going to take a wild guess that for a lot of you, you are not the top priority on that list. In fact, a lot of us are putting things like our career or our responsibilities as the top priority. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't have our career and our responsibilities be high priority. They most certainly should be a high priority. But are they the highest priority? Do they take precedence over you, your mental health, your well-being, your happiness? Are you putting other people on the priorities list far above yourself? That some of us are. And again, there's nothing wrong with prioritizing other people. But you need to be pretty close to the top of your list. I'm not saying you always have to be the first priority, always, in every situation. But you do need to be a priority. Your happiness, your joy, your mental health, your physical health. Just little tiny things that make you smile should be priorities. What's the most important thing in your life? That's a big question. Regardless of what is the most important thing in your life, are you important in your life? If the answer is anything less than, yes, I'm important in my own life, you might have a problem. Or if you can actually do a little mental audit on the actions you take and whether or not they're putting you as a priority, might need to actually address this. When's the last time you took a vacation? Took a weekend off? When's the last time that you bought yourself a puzzle just because you wanted to put together a puzzle without considering whether or not it's silly? And it doesn't just have to be a puzzle. Maybe you like Lego. Maybe you like to sit down and read. Maybe you want to go to a cabin in the middle of the woods with a good book. Maybe your dog. Spend a weekend like that, or a night. Maybe you want to speak your mind, but because you're not a priority, you don't share what you're thinking. And if you're not sharing what you're thinking, you're doing yourself a disservice, a huge disservice. That's a big part of making yourself a priority. Also realizing that your opinions do matter. Now, I'm not saying that we're always right all the time, but our opinions matter. What you have to say, speaking your mind, is important. And, maybe you want to go out, do something with your friends, and they all decide they want to do one particular thing, but you have no interest in doing that whatsoever. But instead of offering up an alternative, you just go along with what everyone else is doing. Well, you're taking yourself off the priorities list. You're taking your happiness, your well-being off the priorities list. You just go along with what everyone else is doing, whether or not you actually wanted to do that thing. At the end of the day, your primary advocate is you. And at the end of the day, the only person who's going to put your wants and needs to the forefront, properly knowing what those wants and needs are, is you. We might have family, friends, a partner, loved ones, colleagues who know a lot of what we like and a lot of what we want, but they won't know exactly what we want or what we think unless we say it. And we have to say it. And for that matter, another part of making yourself a priority is addressing the things that maybe you don't like. Do you only dress a very specific way because you don't think that specific, or should I say, you think that specific outfit or clothing style is going to cause the least fuss amongst your peer group? You're afraid of being judged, so you don't even wear what you want to wear. Are you afraid to post the things you want to post online because you don't want to be judged or perceived ill for your opinions? Let me say that not all opinions are going to be welcomed and openly received, but if you're not sharing what you want to share, again, this is a great disservice to you. Are you holding yourself to an incredibly unattainable standard of success or capability because you look around you and you see people, and from your perception, they're much more successful. They're doing so much more. They're achieving all the things that maybe you kind of want. And so you put yourself on this trajectory to try to attain the top of that mountain to try to reach the top of that pillar, to try to shoot for the stars that you think that they're in. But then you don't take the time to consider maybe they're under a lot of stress, pressure. Think about all the work they have to do too. You have to do all that hard work. It's not just the end result. Some people might spend years and years, decades, to get where they are. And if you're holding yourself to that standard, to the standard of where they are right now, and then get down on yourself because you're not already there, you're doing yourself a disservice. At the end of every day, when you lay your head down to go to sleep, you're with you. Maybe you have some regrets about things you did or didn't say. Maybe you have some longings for things you did or didn't or just want to do. Maybe you find yourself feeling as if you are lacking. But hear me out. If when you wake up the next day, you don't strap on your boots and say, I'm going to do everything I need to for me to be the person I want to be. And then you act on that. In the end, you'll have very few people to blame. You're going to be top of the list because you haven't prioritized yourself. You haven't considered your self-worth and your value as much as you should. You are important. You are valuable. You are tremendous. And everything you can do, when you put a little more faith and love into you, magnificent. I guess really all I'm saying is you do have value. You do have worth. Your thoughts, your opinions, your ideas, your point of view, and your perspective are important. People will appreciate them. Not everyone. We can't please everyone. We shouldn't try. But we should please ourselves. We should make ourselves happy. Happiness isn't necessarily a state of mind, and it's not a goal, and it's not any one thing, but happiness is something that we can give ourselves, even if only in small little chunks, here and there. Finding a smile when we see a squirrel on the side of the road. Having a laugh because we've just read something hilarious. Beaming with pride because we've accomplished a project that we wanted to do for months or years. However your happiness takes form. However you take form. It's good. Now, grab yourself an extra cup of coffee, tea, whatever it may be, whatever is best for your day. Get an extra. You most certainly deserve one. This is good. And before I get going today, I'm going to share a couple of things with you. So one, this weekend is actually my birthday. So, woo, that's awesome. Two, on July 16th, which is also this weekend, I'm going to be hosting the Art of Feeling and Abstract Art Workshop from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Why? Of course, sorry, I have to comment on this. Why do the work trucks have to come out sometimes right when I'm in the middle of this? They come through this area. It's funny. So the Art of Feeling and Abstract Expression Art Workshop from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Tickets are available, and you can sign up through Eventbrite. There's going to be a link somewhere nearby. Now, it's an entirely virtual event, so you can join with your camera, with your microphone, get on your computer, grab a canvas and paper, whatever it is that you want to use. We're going to get together and we're going to go through some techniques. We're going to paint together. We're going to create together. We're going to talk about how we express our feelings and ways to do that through paint. And all you need is something to paint with, something to paint on, and some paint. There is a recommended list of supplies on the Eventbrite listing, as well as a link to my Amazon storefront where you can get some budget supplies. But don't worry about any of that. Just come with some supplies. Anything you may already have. Even if you have your kids' watercolors, you know, like one of those little watercolor booklets and things that you can buy at like a dollar store, it doesn't matter. Even if you don't have the tools to do the techniques that I'm talking about at a given time, you can take what you do have and use that to try to find your own way to replicate the technique. There's a fluid to it, a fluidity to it, an ability to do whatever you want, experiment, try. And you need no art experience to join the Art of Feeling. These art workshops are going on every third Saturday of the month for the rest of the year. And depending, I might do them again next year because I've had a lot of fun doing it. I love sharing the time with all of you to paint, to create, just enjoy time, our time. But it's been absolutely wonderful spending time with all of you. Thank you for joining me again for another marvelous morning. Get your cuppa. Consider your value, your worth, and everything you are. Prioritize yourself. Be excellent. I'm going to be getting out of here, though. I'll see you all again real soon. Also, I will be streaming on Twitch Saturday at 5:30 p.m. My Twitch is your Saturday night. Do consider joining us because I stream every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Have a great one. Be excellent. Bye, everybody.